This is Gary.
And Austin.
And Gritty.
And we are back. Another full episode of Midwest Mics. All three of us here now. So we have been picking the divisions. So as this episode's released, it will be Saturday, September 2nd, which is, really, really close to the start of the NFL season as it kicks off on the 7th with the Chiefs.
Say it right.
Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs, hosting the Detroit Football Lions. So, but yeah, we're leading up to that. We've done the other three divisions in the AFC. Gritty and I gave our picks. You can go back and like I said, listen to those episodes anywhere that you get your audio entertainment. Any platform, they should be there. But Austin's going to talk about the AFC East, North, and South really quick.
Yeah, I missed the first three episodes, so I'll just put my picks in real quick, and I'll just do a real quick reason why I'm getting on them. AFC North, I'm going with Cincinnati. I think Joe Burrow is the second best quarterback in the league, and so I'll go with Cincy. Even though, say, Baltimore did win and it was by one game, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think Burrow is the second best in the league, clutch factor, and just a well put together team. AFC East, I'm going to go with the Jets. They won 7 games last year with bad quarterback play. Rodgers probably makes a difference of about 4 or 5 games. So I think they take that division with 11 or 12 wins. And then AFC South, I actually think Jacksonville is the best team in that division, and I actually don't think it's close. Some people are saying Tennessee's being slept on, but I don't buy into that. I do buy that if Tennessee makes the playoffs, they're a tough out, but I don't buy into them being a 10-win team. So I'm going to go with Jacksonville. And I think Trevor Lawrence actually has a chance to be the third or fourth best quarterback in the league, too. I think he's really, really good. So that's it for quick points on those, so we can move on to the AFC West.
Yeah, so not a lot different there. I mean, we've all got Jacksonville. You two both have the Jets. I've got the Bills, but I've got one game separating them. So, again, if it's flipped the other way, I'm not going to be, extremely shocked. It's just one game. And then, see, that was the East and South.
Are we all the same on the North?
Yeah, North.
Cincy,
yeah, we all took Cincy there. So
and Baltimore's right there. So.
Yeah, and Baltimore's right there. I got one game separating Baltimore and Cincinnati.
Man, Baltimore almost beat him, man. I mean, backup quarterback.
Yeah. Does the question is, and we talked about it, but Mike Tomlin doesn't have losing seasons. So is this the year that streak is snapped? Or does he find a way to get it back?
Is it worth putting money on just because?
You know what the over-under is.
It's 8.5.
It's 8.5.
It's 8.5.
Yeah.
And I think it's over. I don't think they're so well coached. I would say it's kind of for Pittsburgh. I don't think the GM's done a solid job, but not all the way. But I will say this: if TJ stays healthy, their win-loss is crazy. It's like to the win side. It's so he is a game changer.
He does make a big difference.
He's a game changer like his brother.
Didn't he miss 3 games one year and have 21 and a half sacks or something?
Yes.
Woo!
Yeah, he's nasty. So Pittsburgh's one of those sneaky teams. If Cincinnati gets hurt and Baltimore gets injured, Pittsburgh win that division.
Yeah.
If those teams are banged up. Because I would say Pittsburgh's that team that could be rolling out their third-string quarterback and have a few other guys hurt, and they still will give you a tough game.
Have a top 5 defense.
Yeah.
And we had hit on those, but wanted to real quick kind of review what we had done so far. But let's get into it. The AFC West, the team I'm picking for the seller of the division is the Las Vegas Raiders. I think they're going to be one of the teams contending for the top draft pick next year with 1 to 3 wins.
Is the top draft pick next year a receiver or a quarterback?
It's a quarterback.
I think it depends on team.
It's Caleb. Caleb Williams.
I think it depends on the team.
I think if you're not taking Caleb Williams, then you're trading.
If it's Arizona, they just gave Kyler a 4-year deal.
So then they go for Marvin.
So then they get Marvin.
Or do they trade out of their
They trade out of it to get more picks.
I think you get Marvin.
You trade out of the one.
I think you get Marvin.
Or you trade out of the one just to go down, see if the two needs a QB.
Yeah.
And if that's it, just flip.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go past 2.
No.
Because
whoever's there, Caleb and Marvin are going 1 and 2.
I agree.
I think it just depends on who it is.
Yeah.
Because you just gave Kyler a contract.
So the Raiders, if the Raiders
are going, it's Caleb.
It's Caleb, and they'll move. They'll move
if
off.
What if it's the Texans again? They're going Marvin. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just not you. That's why I said. That's why I asked that.
Again, I think if you're not taking Caleb, you trade out and get more capital.
I think Marvin is
because I think people will give up
their
left nut to go get Caleb Williams.
But I think Marvin is on that level. I would stay there and take him.
You take a receiver out of a game.
That means you feel like Marvin Harrison Jr. and I feel this way too. I actually feel like he's a future Hall of Famer.
I think he's that good. You say you can take a receiver out of the game, but those top 5 receivers, they don't get taken out of games. They get theirs no matter what. Jamar may be quieter, but he's still going to have 110 yards receiving.
I don't know. But anyway, that's a debate for another time. Stay on task here.
So we're starting cellar and then just work our way up.
Yeah, work our way up. So Raiders, their first 4 games we've talked about with these other teams. They're at Denver, at Buffalo, Pittsburgh at home, and then at the Chargers.
They're 0-4.
We all agree, right, that the Raiders are the seller?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I think
there's pieces with Denver that make them a step up. And when I say step up, I'm talking about a 4 or 5 game difference. Step up.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Denver is even as bad as Russell Wilson was last year, they still were in games.
Yeah.
In a lot of games.
Defense is good.
Surtain is really, really, really good. He may be the best corner in the league. And if he's not, he's in your top 5.
And then you got Simmons going over the top with the safeties. I mean, I think they have a very good front 7. And then they have 2 really good guys on the back end. 3 really good guys on the back end.
Off the top of your head, as far as the Raiders go, I don't remember right now what's going on with Josh Jacobs. Has he reported?
Nope.
Okay.
They might rescind his franchise tag if he doesn't report by the 1st, I believe it is.
He hasn't signed it, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
Gary, is that the 1st?
I believe so.
I think it's the 1st that they can rescind their offer.
Yeah, a couple key additions. Obviously quarterback Jimmy G because they lost Derek Carr. They added Jacoby Myers also, which may help them some.
Can Jimmy get the ball to him?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can he throw the ball that far?
I don't know. We'll find out.
So if you're a Raiders fan,
does he have time to throw the ball that far?
Yeah, I don't know, man. If you're a Raiders fan, which you're going, say
Jimmy G's been a winner.
That's what you're saying because as a fan of a team, you always say, all right, I got to figure out like what my spin is to get me excited. And to get you excited, you would say Jimmy G is a winner. The dude's winning percentage is insane. Mm-hmm. I actually think Jimmy G is a lot like I don't think he's as good of a locker room guy, but I think a lot like Alex Smith as far as winning games, not turning it over. But how much of that was Kyle Shanahan, and how much of that is actually Jimmy G?
Yeah,
doing his thing. For Alex, I think Alex learned a lot when Harbaugh came in, and I think he carried that over with Andy and Nagy, and Nagy really got the best out of him.
Yeah.
Ironically enough, the year we had Patrick as our backup, and we were going to trade him to Washington.
Yeah.
Which actually, I'm glad he had a great year because we got a couple of nice things from Washington for that.
I mean, I think to that point, we're about to find out who Jimmy G really is.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy G, every year he's been a starter, has had a top end defense, and now he doesn't.
And it'll be a little bit different too because he, instead of having not a top end defense, he has a top 5 receiver.
I mean, the Raiders.
That's true.
The Raiders.
So we'll see. So we'll see.
But no. I'm not going to say that because I mean he did have Debo, he did have George Kittle, he did have shorter guy. Oh, I can't think of his name. Anyway, he had 3 weapons. And he was okay out there, but it was the defense.
And nobody liked Devontae.
Yeah. Yeah.
How dumb does he... not dumb, but Adams should have just... I mean, at this point, I'm like, dude, you should have just stayed in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Or you know what? They moved off of him, right?
Yeah, it was kind of mutual.
Maybe when should have figured something else out. He thought he was going to play with his buddy
Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, Ayuk's nice too.
Yeah, I mean he had 2 top end receivers, not top 5, not top 10 by any means, but an absolute X factor as a weapon in Deebo Samuel. Obviously, George Kittle is who he is.
Yeah,
so and you got Brandon Ayuk there too.
Yeah, we'll see. So, I'm not. I mean, I'll say this: I'm not drafting Jimmy G on my fantasy.
No.
Raiders really bad. Bottom of the division. So a step up from them. I'm actually going with the Chargers in 3rd. You guys may disagree here with me.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we do.
But I'm going. I think they'll have like 9 to 11 wins. I think 9's their floor and 11's the ceiling. So obviously, if they get that 11, I think they'll be above Denver because I think Denver gets 10 wins.
Whoa, okay. I was gonna say, where do you have if you have them at 9 to 11? Do you have Denver at 10?
I got Denver at 10, and so again, I think it's kind of one game there separating them. I know Denver was really bad last year, but much better coach. But anyway, moving on. Chargers first 4 games: Miami, at Tennessee, at Minnesota, and then Vegas.
That's 3-1.
They're 2.
Yeah.
They're 2-2.
2-2.
Who's the other loss? Who's lost?
Read those again for me.
Miami, Tennessee, Minnesota, Vegas.
That might be 4-0.
I think Minnesota will beat them.
Wow. Man,
I think Minnesota's really good.
I think Minnesota regresses majorly.
I don't. I think Minnesota's really good.
Their defense is so bad. So bad.
I just think I really like. I mean, again, there's a winner there.
Where's the Where's that game at?
Which one?
Chargers, Minnesota.
Minnesota.
At Minnesota.
Okay. I mean, because if you go,
and it's a noon game. Kirk Cousins is winning that.
Get Herbert. I'll take Herbert over Cousins.
I mean, I will too, just not at noon. Kirk Cousins don't lose at noon.
So
man.
It's I don't remember Cousins at 3. He's good at 3 still, isn't he?
He's best at noon.
He's best at noon.
Best at noon. 3 o'clock is fine.
He's all right.
He's okay. He's like 500.
Prime time.
He finally got 1 win in prime time last year.
Prime time's like so bad, right?
Yeah, he's horrible. He hadn't won a primetime game until like last year, I think.
Man. But then the Chargers go. Then the Chargers play Dallas. Then they come to Kansas City, Chicago, at the Jets.
And that Chicago game on Sunday night is not as we've seen mobile quarterbacks destroy the Chargers defense. That's not a good spot for the Chargers to be in.
No, don't be fooled by Justin Fields.
Hold on, I hate Justin Fields, so let's be clear on that.
And they only really added one guy that's a key, is Eric Kendricks, a linebacker.
And Quentin Johnston.
Their defense is not... Everything about that roster is nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
It really is.
But you know what? Again, it's okay. It's okay to have Matt Ryan as your quarterback. Like when we talk about paralleling careers.
Yeah, okay.
It's okay to have Matt Ryan as your quarterback.
Did you have Herbert? Well, okay.
You see what I'm saying?
We moved on. Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, I'm just comparing...
Herbert and Matt Ryan?
Like the career trajectory. Like, I think...
Matt Ryan's had a way better start than Matt Ryan did.
That's fine.
Well, I don't know.
That's fine. I don't think Justin Herbert ever goes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, he may not.
I mean, you just blew a 30-point lead in a playoff game to a first-year quarterback. That can't happen.
True.
You can't find a way to score another point.
You're helping him make his point now.
Yeah,
I know, but I think I'm just comparing. Like because you have Tom Brady, you have Peyton Manning already. They've already been identified. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, right? So now you got to start stair-stepping the rest of the greats. Josh Allen can beat Ben Roethlisberger.
I actually have Herbert above Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen, because when I did it, I mean, talking Chargers, I did it. You know, when you start looking at Josh Allen without Dable, Without Dable, he's not great. Really not. And he gives the ball. I think in the last 2 years he's given the ball away 50 times.
Without Diggs, he's not great either.
I agree with that too. I'm not saying Josh Allen's garbage. He's not garbage.
No,
he's not a great one. Herbert, I think Herbert can be a great one, but for the Chargers, and obviously we have them second place, right, Griffin?
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
okay.
that's where the conversation is.
The reason I have them, and second place for them, for me, is kind of the same they were at last year, which is a good team. If you slack, they will beat you. They took the Chiefs to the edge in both games and really could have won both games.
Really, the last 4 games, yeah.
The difference for me is, Gary would disagree, I think Kellen Moore is a great offensive coordinator. Cowboys were 4th best offense last year, if I have that. I think that's right. And they were the number 1 offense 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. They were 4th in points scored last year, yep. 27.5.
What were they on? Does it have yardage? Or is it just the points?
Yards per game, 11th.
Okay. But I think his play calling is really good. And I think it was probably a mutual thing for Kellen to leave Dallas and whatever. But I think that's one thing I hurt the Chargers was some of the late game play calling. I think Kellen will fix that. But we'll see.
Not just late game, but like anytime that you take points off the board with all those 4th and shorts that he would go for.
Right.
I mean, just absolutely demoralizes momentum.
Yeah.
And obviously hurts the scoreboard too.
But you guys are saying that's a head coach's decision, not a coordinator's decision.
Yeah.
So if he tells Kellen to go for it, if he tells Kellen Moore to go for it on 4th down,
he got to go for it.
He's going to call the play.
Well, I thought that I had heard that he's letting that go.
Play calling, I thought that's what I heard.
Like all the
too,
way, like he's letting Kellen run the whole deal.
That's what I heard.
I mean, he might, but that's still a head coach's decision.
To go for it or not.
To go for it or not.
We'll find out in the first 2 games exactly what the philosophy is.
Yeah.
One thing I think that'll help too with the Chargers is they had been more dink and dunk for a long time, and I think Kellen likes to air it out a little bit. And so I think he'll push it. And I actually think Kellen Moore, we may actually get one of the best years from Austin Eckler that we've ever seen. Because
contract year.
So contract year is undefeated. And I would say Kellen Moore did a really, really nice job getting the best out of whatever back he had available in Dallas.
Yeah.
Really nice job with
Tony Pollard was like a
really
number one pickup in fantasy football for a lot of people.
Yeah, man. He's done a really nice job. So we'll see that. So we can go ahead and transition to, so Gary, you have Denver.
I got Denver
second place.
Yeah, second place.
And we got Denver
solid.
in third.
I got them a solid 10 wins.
Man,
going through the schedule.
Wow.
Which is, like I said, Chargers 9-11. So, but I think Denver. I think they're more on that 9 side than the 11. But Denver's first 4 are Vegas and Washington at home. Cool. I mean, that's 2 wins.
Maybe.
I got them.
I don't believe in that.
I got them at Miami and at Chicago. Well, I got Vegas and Washington as 2 of the worst teams in the league.
I know.
So,
but the Broncos were one of the worst teams in the league last year too.
And then at Miami, at Chicago, I think they can win both of those.
So you think they start 4-0? I
think they start 4-0.
So I'd take Washington over Denver. So I think Denver is that bad. I think Russell's that bad.
Russell's not lost. Peyton just came out and said it.
Who came out and said it?
Sean Payton.
I don't care.
He's not washed.
I trust what my eyes saw last year.
It was weird.
Russell's lost weight.
Okay, that's good.
So he's going to make some more corny videos.
Oh, man. He's
working out in the plane.
He was really interesting because when Seattle started becoming bad is when they started, they say let Russ cook. But dang, man, when they started giving him more control, they became worse.
Yeah.
And Denver's defense is still really good.
I agree with
that.
That I agree with.
I mean, they were number 1 in points or pass yards per attempt.
The defense was?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were number 3 in total yards per play. 14 in points allowed.
Their defense is nice, and that's what kept them. We were talking about that. They had a lot of close games. That's what kept them in a lot of those games was their defense.
The same thing with Tennessee.
Yeah, and Tennessee's another. Yeah, I mean,
but we don't think of Tennessee the same way as we think of. Gary doesn't think of Tennessee the same way he's thinking of the Broncos.
Yeah, and
they added Jared Stidham, which puts a little pressure on Russ to play better.
You know what? I actually slightly the reason I say I slightly agree with that, I think if Russ is bad, I think they will put Stidham in. Because Sean Payton's going to go, I can win. Because to back up your point, Sean Payton has won with a lot of different quarterbacks. They say, a lot of times you say, oh, yeah, Drew Brees. But it's like, whoa, when Drew Brees was hurt, this dude was winning with Jameis. This dude was winning games with some third-string quarterbacks who would come in and win games. He won game putting the what's his name? The guy.
I was just thinking about
the guy that's the tight end and quarterback and running back and kick returner and
little short guy. Yeah.
The little QB, little white guy.
Taysom Hill.
He won with Taysom Hill.
Yeah.
I think as Taysom Hill started with Sean Payton's 2-0. So it's interesting, but I just think I don't think Russ is good. I think the organization for some reason is not great, and I have him in third place.
Yeah,
I got the Broncos in third place. I mean, maybe it changes, but at the end of the day, the quarterback still has to play. And I watched Russ bury a lot of balls with clean pockets last year.
You know what? I watched clips of. I know it's preseason, so it's whatever. But I watched him of it this year. He looks bad. He doesn't look good.
And their offensive line is
atrocious.
Yes.
And what I've seen, he's only played one drive.
Still bad.
I thought it was
and
bad.
he was good on that drive. No. He was crisp.
Their offensive line is still atrocious. I don't think they did a lot to fix it. And unfortunately, he doesn't have the scramble ability he used to have.
See, I think that's going to be back, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think him doing lunges on the plane will be back.
I don't know.
Sean Payton's going to take care of it.
I think Sean's going to shut him
down.
Up.
He's shut. He's already, Russ doesn't have his private office anymore and all that.
I wouldn't be
Sean Payton's shutting all that stuff down.
At the end of the day, you're a coach. I coach now. You're around sports all your life. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Players still got to go play.
Yeah, but we've talked about it on almost every episode tonight. Coaching matters in the NFL. So Sean Payton is a way upgrade over Nathaniel Hackett.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's not even in question there. That's not even in question there.
What is their over-under on their wins?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up.
I would think it'd be...
The betting book doesn't have it?
No.
No, I mean, that thing doesn't have it. I bet it's 7.5. I bet it's 7.5.
Probably. I'd take the over then. Depend on the odds.
Yeah. 8.5.
Oh.
8.5? See?
What do you mean see? I'm taking the over under.
Vegas is closer than
6 wins, 7 wins.
Yeah, 7 wins. I mean, I can live with 8. That's still under 8.5.
How many did they win last year? 6?
5-12.
Okay.
They were 7-10 against the spread.
Dang. So you have them on a 5-game switch.
5-game switch, yeah.
Man.
You got them winning 10 games?
I mean, they play Green Bay at home, which I think Green Bay is going to be bad. They got Minnesota and Cleveland at home.
Again,
don't know
about Cleveland.
But they play at Houston.
That's a win.
Yeah,
but Cleveland has one of the best defensive lines in the NFL.
And then they play Vegas twice.
Against one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL.
Yeah, matchup.
Russ might die in that game.
Nah. The offensive line will be better.
But I don't know. I mean, it's just actually when we talk about this kind of stuff, I actually think the Chargers will be either the same or one game better.
Yeah.
I still don't think they're going to do much in the playoffs because I don't think Herbert's clutch. I don't. Yeah. And I think his receivers get hurt too much.
Yes.
And when they're healthy, yeah, they're really, really good. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams that's nasty.
I can't tell you how happy I was to watch Mike Williams limp off the field when the Chargers came to town week 1 last year.
Yeah. Dude, it's one of those things
because I was like, whoo, we dodged the bullet there because they was going up and down the field.
It's like the right thing to say when these guys get hurt. Oh my God, this and that. But I'm like, dude, like, I was like, all right. Like, as long as he's not seriously hurt, I'm like, good. When Joe Burrow was got hurt in practice, my first reaction was, yeah, baby. I was like, let's go.
I mean, it's sports. And, again, that's a calf strain, and it was pretty bad. You don't know what happens when he tries to open it up again.
Does he start week 1?
I think so.
I think he will.
All right.
I think so.
Let's get on to the Kansas City Chiefs. I got them winning 13 to 15 games. You know, obviously last year, points scored, number 1. Yards per play, number 1. Yards per game, number 1. Rush yards per attempt, number 8. Rush yards per game, 20. Pass yards per attempt, 3. And then pass yards per game, number 1.
What was that rush yards per game? What was their total?
Rush yards per game, 115.9.
That's not
and that
terrible.
was 20th.
That's not terrible.
Yeah.
And our running game is designed
terrible.
Our running game is designed to just kind of help open up a pass game.
Exactly. And we use a lot of those little jet sweeps and screens, inside screens, and the bubbles.
Yeah, with Andy,
extension of the running game.
With Andy's offense, kind of those screens are part. They're not running game, but it's the same kind of. Yeah. He's trying to do the same type of tactic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's not a lot that we have to say about the Chiefs. Best quarterback in the league. I think it's a lot. Cincinnati fans, and if I was a Cincinnati fan, I would say, "Hey, we're going to get you. We're 3-1 against you." Blah blah blah. Other than that, I don't think anybody has a case. Yeah, 2 rings.
Yeah,
but I don't think anybody has a case, except for somebody wants to talk about Burrow.
Yeah.
I watched Arizona. Look, when this episode comes out, the Arizona preseason game would have been a while ago, and the third preseason game would have already happened. But it just happened when we're recording this, and everything I saw, I felt like everybody, all of a sudden, everybody's very comfortable.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
who was it? Not Richie James.
Rashid Rice.
Rashid Rice looks very comfortable.
Rashid.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs, really good. Best quarterback in the league, like you said. I mean, like you said, Bengals fans can make an argument for Joe Burrow, but really outside of that, to me, there's not another guy you can make an argument that is the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah,
I mean, they're 1 and 2, in my opinion.
It's crazy. Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's like I said, this is the team. Before we start recording, I told them this is the team I like to talk the most about. But for this type of conversation, I don't have a lot to tell you because I don't need to argue my point. I don't need to tell you that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, the best tight end in the league. Okay, worst case scenario, say you love George Kittle, and maybe you love Darren Waller, whatever. So worst case, Kelsey's 3, but he's number 1, right?
Yeah, there's number 2. We're watching him on TV right now because we're recording early. Mark Andrews is number 2 tight end in the league.
As I said in the other episodes, we're recording these on the 21st of August, so you'll hear this on Saturday, September 2nd.
I mean, one thing is too is I feel like the Chiefs. It's kind of weird when you look at their receiver group and you look at you're like, hey, who's the number 1? It doesn't really matter.
It's Travis Kelce.
They have definitely Travis Kelce as far as receiving goes. When you look at the wide receiver room and they don't have a true number 1, it doesn't matter because they'll have 6 or 7 guys that will be able to do multiple different things.
Yes,
it's like Andy and Veach have handpicked. Okay, well, this is like the type of guy we need. This is the prototype. We'll go get a guy like that.
Yeah.
We'll get a guy like this. Like Sky Moore, yes, he's running with first team, but he can become that slot guy.
Yeah. And there's 2 of those guys now with Richie James and Sky Moore. There's 2 of those slot type wide receivers. You also have the 2 jump ball guys now with Rice and Ross.
Oh.
And then you have Tony, Tony's just kind of your...
And probably actually the most talented is probably Tony.
Yeah, Tony's kind of your wild card guy. Like, if he has a tweak, sit him down. You don't need him to be good because you got Kelce there, right? And then as you go along, you start throwing McKinnon out there. You start swinging passes to Pacheco. I mean, and the offensive line, as Pat said last week after the Arizona game, again, this is pre-recorded, going to be for your guys' ears on the 2nd. I haven't been touched Nope. I haven't been touched. Not pressured. Nothing. I haven't been touched in a preseason game yet. So, let that be what it is with the offensive line.
It'll be the strategy I think Veach will have from here on out, which is what he's been doing. He might change it, but he puts his cap money on the O-line.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would.
That's what he does.
And that's kind of where we've been at with the whole Chris Jones thing, right? Everybody's like, oh, we need to sign Chris. I said, I'd much rather sign the people who are protecting the most important part of your team.
Make sure we can re-sign Humphrey and
make sure
Trey.
Make sure they get their money. Make sure they get their bread, or as Marshawn would say, their chicken. Make sure those guys protect your investment, because Patrick Mahomes is the Chiefs. I don't know if anybody else agrees with that, but he is the Chiefs. We had good teams before him. We had one Super Bowl before him, but we have Super Bowls and appearances and the front runners with him. He's the Chiefs. You got to protect him.
All right. So, with all that being said, everybody agrees that they're number one.
Yeah.
What you got any bold predictions for them? Because it's awesome that they're going to be number one, and we all kind of agree. But this is all kind of stuff that everybody says. So you have a bold prediction, like something that everyone's like, "Oh, I never thought of that," or you're predicting something that no one else is thinking of.
I think this is the year that the Chiefs put all the naysayers to bed. I think they win every single marquee game that they need. I think they go 15-2 while doing it.
Oh man!
I think they beat the Bills and Cincinnati 2 times this season. And they put all of this Burrowhead, all of this quarterback competition, whatever you want to call it, to bed. And we'll do our NFC stuff, leading up as well. But I think this is the year the Chiefs beat the Bills, beat the Eagles, beat the Jets. I think all the marquee games are wins this year.
Oh, man.
I think all the marquee games are wins this year.
I
don't know if it's bold because the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL, but they haven't won all their marquee games every year.
Yeah, I'm a fan of them, and I hate I feel like being a homer when I'm like, man, I really feel like I genuinely, definitely, I feel like the ceiling is 17-0. I do. Like the real ceiling is 17-0. The real ceiling is 20-0. And it feels like you're like, oh, you're being a homer 11. You tell me they're favored in every game. They're going to be favored in every single game.
With Rodgers, with Allen, with Hurts, with everybody else.
Say there's no injuries. No injuries. What's the floor? The floor to me is 12.
No, the floor is 14.
14?
I got it at 13.
So the floor is 14.
We're right there.
Like if we lose,
no.
So the trend since Mahomes has been here is we'll lose a game we're not supposed to, i.e. Indianapolis last year. So that's what kind of skews my number a little bit.
Who do you think that is this year? Because it won't be a division game.
At Green Bay, maybe?
I can see that.
At Minnesota.
At Minnesota, week 5?
At Minnesota.
That won't be that much of a shocker.
Who goes after that?
Who's after Minnesota?
Yeah.
Denver.
I don't see us losing a division game.
I think we lose one.
Chargers?
I think it's the Chargers.
In LA?
No. I think we lose at home. Chiefs don't lose on the road in the division.
No, we don't. He's undefeated. That's oddly enough, he is undefeated
on the road. Yeah.
On the road,
and at home, he's comfortable. We always come out flat. Last year with the Raiders, we had to claw back and barely win that game because the Raiders jumped out 17-0 on us early. That was the game we made Carl Sheffers cry on the field.
Oh man, you guys were so mean to him.
You're saying the Chiefs by the time really they play Cincinnati,
division could be over
on New Year's Eve. The division could be wrapped up.
Is Cincinnati 3 games from the end?
No, it's
4.
the next to last game.
Oh, so they're 2 games from the end. I think it's before that. I think.
So they could possibly rest Patrick Mahomes for the Cincinnati game.
Oh dang it! I'm going to that game. I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that either. New Year's Eve, I don't want to do that either. But I mean, when it comes to the grand scheme of things, let me see here.
Because your first 4: Detroit at Jacksonville, Chicago at the Jets, and then at Minnesota, Denver, Chargers, at Denver.
Yeah, those first four
and
are
then Miami.
Easy. The first four are tough.
Yeah, I mean, because Jacksonville played you guys tough last year in the playoffs.
I mean, we beat them by 14.
Well, yeah, but it was close early.
Yeah,
like that's
the game Pat got hurt in.
No, you know what? Chiefs are bad in Florida.
And that's a noon game too.
So we'll see. Jacksonville might be an L.
But again,
I think Trevor Lawrence is that good.
But it's an extended preparation too. Andy Reid doesn't lose with extended preparation.
It is? Oh, is it really?
Because we play Thursday
and then Sunday.
Perfect.
Yep. So they'll be off Friday, be off Saturday, prep start Sunday with all the games going on.
Dang, that's good.
I mean, I think the division is locked up when the Raiders come to town.
So that's
Christmas Day. I think that's the day the division is done.
Dang it, man! So
for 2 weeks of the NFL season, we won't play a meeting.
I don't have.
But the problem is,
I don't have.
But will the
I don't care about that. There you go. I don't care about the division.
Well, the one
because
seed,
Cincinnati being that
won't be wrapped up.
I don't think so because I think like we talked about with the other divisions. I think you're looking at 12 wins, 13 wins for Jacksonville. I think you're looking at that 13-14 mark for New York.
You're saying that for Jacksonville because I could see Jacksonville going 6-0 in their division.
Yeah, that's what I said. And Gary was like, I
got Jacksonville like 9-10.
Yeah, I think we're pretty wide on that margin there. We both have them winning that division.
I got the Bengals winning 12 games.
Yeah, so I think I truly think the one seed is between the Jets and the Chiefs this year.
Maybe. I think I don't know.
And you said you could even see the Jets possibly if everything falls right, going 16-1.
Yeah. See, I actually think,
which I agree with. If everything goes that way,
I think the Jets end up going like 2-2 in the first four. Rodgers gets comfortable and then he goes crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if Rodgers goes crazy, we've seen that, which means he's losing one game the rest of the way. And which game is that? I hope it's the Chiefs game.
Yeah.
Because there's implications on that game.
And we will do a playoff preview episode again where we'll rank, 1 through 7, what we think the seeds will be in the AFC, NFC. So there will be another episode tomorrow. Tomorrow we will start ranking the NFC teams and their divisions. So not sure which division we'll start with. So I don't want to tell you that and then be wrong. But yeah, so tomorrow on Sunday we will have that for you. Again, you can subscribe to our podcast wherever you get your audio entertainment. Any of the platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, any of those, any other platform that you may use that we don't know about, we're on there anyway. But we're on all of them. So check us out. Search for us on social media. Let us know what you think of our picks. Follow the TikTok. We're trying to put out more videos there and get those views up. So follow us on TikTok. Reply. Let us know what you think. What am I missing, guys?
I think
that's it.
I think you plugged everything. So we're good.
So AFC West, Chiefs win it. That's a clean sweep there. And, that's
a change from last year.
It is. Last year I made the mistake of picking against the Chiefs. I didn't do that again.
Bart Scott.
I took Denver.
That's right.
Yeah, I thought Russell would,
Actually, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I thought they were going to be good, too.
Yeah, I thought they were going to be good. But
you can go back and listen to the show. I didn't.
Yeah. No.
Nah.
Russ was bad in Seattle before he left. I didn't think it was going to be good at all.
But he's going to pick it up this year. But anyway, I'm Gary.
This is awesome.
And Gritty.
And we'll see you guys tomorrow with another episode of Midwest Mics.